Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our panel discussion, Design for Impact, the Business Approach of Sustainable Cultural Innovation. My name is Dana Sa'id. I'll be the moderator for this session, and I serve as the head of the FROMM lab. I would like first to introduce you to FROMM, the brand. We are a luxury contemporary furniture and home accessory company. We design collections in collaboration with designers, and we have the FROMM lab, which is the educational platform that serves for designers to come and collaborate and co-design on the FROMM collections. I would like to introduce you to our speakers today. We have Rashid with us. Welcome, Cálea. She's the founder and CEO of FROMM. She is involved in managing multiple luxury businesses in furniture and fashion. We have Looka with us. Looka serves as the creative and strategy consultant for FROMM. He worked as a product designer and consultant for brands like Hermes and Calvin Klein. He's the founder of Zona Tortona district in Milan, which is a very renowned district for design and fashion. He is a professor at Politecnico in Milan in event design, and he has a lot of experience with different countries such as China and Vietnam. We also have with us Kلثم الكواري and عائشة المهندي. They founded DHI, an interior design studio, in 2018 after graduating from VCU in Qatar. And since then, they served over 250 clients in the span of 6 years. So welcome, dear speakers. And since this was organized in collaboration with FROMM, the brand, I would like to start with you, Looka. And if you could please first provide us with a brief overview of the unique FROMM design philosophy, please.
Thank you. But FROMM philosophy is FROMM have a design philosophy. And this is something that seems simple but is very complex and unique, because I know that there are many companies that use design and use the designer, but not so many companies that are design-oriented. That means that have really in the DNA the design process. What is design? Design is is the method and the culture to transform vision and dream in real project. And all the steps of the company and all the steps of the producing and to selling, to study, everything have to use the creative and design project, design method and culture. So in this kind, the design of FROMM is to transform the vision and the dream of Cálea in real project and real product with real person. And this is the secret of this new company, because it's very young, but it's very strong because have a method, an approach. And after we can see some characteristic of this approach, but it's something new today to do, starting from Qatar, from here, because it's more normal to make a design company in Brianza. But many Brianza companies use the design, but not always are design-oriented, and so also in the world. So this is, for me, is important, and I am very happy to be involved in this project, because it was a dream, and now is a process, a real project that are growing.
And as you mentioned, Looka, so this brand FROMM is founded between Mshereb and Milan, and it started 2 years ago. So can you just give us a quick, brief overlook on the achievements of FROMM since its foundation?
But yes, it was a slogan in the beginning that we'll have it, designed in Qatar, engineered in Milano, prototyping in Brianza, very good knowledge, but produced ever is better to produce. This is something very contemporary, no? It's not more the made here or made that, but is a process to things in different situation, no? Where is the best? Now, it was a challenge to start in the design in Qatar, no? Because it is a young country that are coming in the design field. And it's very interesting, this process, and the collaboration between different skills first. So, as I said always to my students, the designer cannot work alone. Have to work with others. Otherwise, it's better doing other jobs. And so this is a connection with different skills and different cultural approach. And this is another contemporary secret, not to mix and to meet different culture, different approach, and to try to do something new between this approach.
Thank you, Luca. And Ali, I would like to ask you, as being a business expert, how do you think cultural innovation can be effectively integrated into business models like FROMM?
So people connect with stories, and FROMM provides the opportunity to the young talent to tell their stories through the design of the pieces. And as Luca said, it's about the design process that we guide the young talent to take them from starting from research about their local heritage until the piece is delivered to the local and international market. And and our collections are like the Shuruk collection, for example, is example for what we're saying here. Each piece has its own storytelling, its own narrative on each designer's local heritage.
Thank you, Alia. So as we mentioned, all the collections that FROMM do are in collaboration with designers. And we are very proud and happy for our new collaboration with DHI, Kلثم and Aisha. And we congratulate you on the launch of the dining set that is part of the first Shuruk collection from FROMM that you can also see in the ground floor in M7. So I would like to hear from you, Kلثم and Aisha. How did you find your design experience with FROMM?
I would describe it as a transformative experience. It allowed us to work with different with the leaders in the market and in a different approach. We used in DHI work with our own team. We used to the same approach, but being exposed to different team from Milan and from the experienced FROMM team, it was a totally different experience. It allowed us to see the process from a different perspective. I would describe it also as an evolving process, starting with the market research, considering the local, not only the local, but also the international audience, and how to align both identities and to introduce a new product to the market, but keeping in mind the existing Shuruk collection. It was a bit also challenging. Another aspect that was also a challenging is how to reach a middle ground where we want to introduce a product for the local market and to introduce also a product that is a final product for the international audience also. It was very exciting journey, and it enhanced our overall journey also as a DHI designers.
So just to add to also what Aisha was saying, as Aisha mentioned, it was transformative experience, given that also that not only is it in the nature of our work is to design and also to manufacture like furniture, but it's different when you focus also on product design. So working with the FROMM team was also a stimulating experience, because not only are you taking a brief or trying to understand the existing collection, but you are also adding a bit of a story to every piece of the collection that is designed by a different designer. So I think it's also like adding to the story of FROMM, given the opportunity to different designers and how we can piece together the collection, again, to present the ideas that we have. I would say also like what was different for us is also having a panel of people expert in the fields giving us the feedback. This was the best aspect for us and the experiences, because we're not just designing based on a brief, but also we have the opinions of people who have been in the market for so many years and are specialized in the field of product design as well.
Each phase in the design process was like a back and forth process, and getting feedbacks at each phase was all of these helped to reach the final product. It was like evolving a process for me.
And it was an enlightening experience because not only are you looking at the aesthetics or the ergonomics, but also we got an insight of like, okay, how we are going to design this piece, we are going to produce this piece, but how are we going to package it? How is it going to be a commercial? At the end of the day, this is a furniture company. Again, the products also will be like commercialized. So looking at not just the design aspect, but the business aspect as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this is from the design collaboration perspective. Cálya, I would like to hear from you if you can give us examples, so beyond design collaborations, examples of different partnerships, such as collaborations with businesses and local communities.
Yeah, so collaboration is in the heart of FROMM. As you said, we collaborate with the Young Talent, which is an open platform starting with Qatari designers, expanding to the region, which we included also Lebanese, Turkish, Egyptian, Italian designers. Beyond that, we are also collaborating on different, so we collaborate with educational front, with VCU, for example, here in Qatar, and soon with other universities in Italy. We have also collaborations on the business front, where we collaborate with galleries and give the opportunity for the local talent to be exposed in the international market through this different distribution channels. And we have the cultural part where we collaborate with M7, with the Doha Ben Ali, and other opportunities that can come up in the region as well. So,
yes.
Yeah.
Great. So going back to you, Looka, I would like to know, how does intercultural dialogue play a crucial role in design? And how do you see FROMM Lab serves as the bridge between the emerging talents and FROMM values?
I have to be very sincere and to admit that in the beginning was not so clear for me what Cálya thought, because it was a mix about business in design and lab. You remember I asked, what is lab and what is business?
Discussion.
Yeah. We discussed it so many times, because in my experience, many companies say business. And design and lab was something for marketing, only for blah, blah, for communication. And so this was my bias, cognitive bias. But speaking with Cálya, I discovered that there is a very good option. That is a very good and potential option of FROMM and this situation. Because we started to work with designer, a mixed group of designers, very mixed for culture, for gender, for experience, but all younger. And younger, but with a minimum experience, not student, but not very structured design. And this creates immediately something new. So after we can say that this system, also hybridation of culture, of experience, of skills, the output cannot be traditional, cannot be conformist, because it's impossible. Because design process in this case is also compromise, no? Compromise between budget, material, technology, territory, every kind of element that creates the complexity of a design process. If you put a diversity in the structure, and not a linear things, but also a complex situation, the output can be arriving in a complex way, but when you arrive, it's something new, it's something different. And what is the big problem of the market in furniture or in design, but also in the city? I saw that before also, Karim, is the same, all is the same. The mass part is similar to the other, because many times the company say, not study something new. Study, please, something as Karim's Rashid style, as Chipperfield style, as Giovannoni style, always as. How many briefs we heard like this? And the result, the output is a market very similar in many, many things. This system is automatic to have something new. then can be good, no good. We have a process to select and to go on, experience, prototyping and testing in all that kind is possible. And so this is what I mean design-oriented process. No, it's really a design process, no, because start from a multiplicity, from a diversity, and then to create something unique, something that has sense. And this is, and I understood immediately, not immediately, but some months I needed to understand this as a new option and a new approach. And this new approach I don't find in Milano, Tokyo, London, New York. I find in Qatar by Caallia, and so I'm very happy to work in this project because it's a very good challenge, and the diversity is really something rich, not a blah blah. Not a good things to say, but it's really something rich. And also is important as a message. I so many years, so he knows many years, I say that design is a language that creates bridge and not walls. And today is more important to think that design can create bridge and not walls. And this is an example very, very good.
Yeah, I think the journey was very interesting. We only started 3 years ago, but the difference between the FROMM brand and the FROMM lab started to be very clear between what we're doing as workshops, as education, as research under the lab, and this is what feeds into our FROMM as an identity for the brand as well. Yeah.
Yes. And just to give a concrete example for the audience of what FROMM does as collections. Looka, can you give us like an example, a project from FROMM that you think demonstrates as best sustainable cultural innovation?
So first is Shuru collection is really the starting from a mix of intention and also position. No, there are very discussion to do this because who have an approach more artist, other an approach more techniques, other an approach more modern, other more classic. So was not immediately but this was the richness of the process. And as to sustainability, I say there is not only natural sustainability, but we have three environment to respect: the natural environment, obviously, the social environment, more obviously, not so obviously, but is more obviously to be sustainable in a social point of view, and then economical sustainability, because otherwise nobody can go on, nobody stop. So the collection is also interesting, also the discussion between what is heritage, what is past, what is cultural, iconic, and what is modern language. Because this is the very difficult goal for a designer, for a company design-oriented as FROMM, because heritage is heritage. We have the heritage in our DNA. And then the world is divided in repetition of the heritage. Classic, no? In Italy, classic, Renaissance was many years to metabolize Rinascimento and the classic style. And also in the area, there are time to metabolize the past and to translate or interpret this is a new language. We are in a city completely modern, completely oriented to the present and to the future. But also the cultural heritage is something that we need to translate also for a young generation. Otherwise, it's something of the past. And the past, the risk is to die, to don't be living. And so this Shuru collection was also this difficult, not easy process to innovate the heritage, because this is really something that all country can do, but it's really difficult to do that, because sometimes you forget the heritage and sometimes you repeat the heritage, but there are not the two solutions. It's a new interpretation, more sophisticated, but able to speak to the young generation. And this is something that helps the heritage, that save the heritage. And the heritage is important because you remember, Caallia, you know me also for other projects in Cairo. I say the local way to design is my slogan of many years ago, because I don't come in Doha to see Philip Stark product. I go to Paris or Milan or New York. I like to come here to see what happened here. What is the research and to try how the young designer, the company try to interpret the local, but to speak to the global. Because the globalization have bad things and good things. One of the good things is the intercultural possibility, the dialogue with other cultures. This is beautiful. No? And so this can be a real accept to localism, to be local, but to have the capability to speak to the world. And to the young generation otherwise.
Yes, sure. And so the Shuruk collection was the first collection of FROMM, and it was launched in Milan Design Week 2 years ago and was co-designed with Aliyah and Mariam El-Suwaidi, inspired by the local architecture and the desert dunes. And we have Kلثم and Aisha, who designed in collaboration with FROMM the dining set that was added to this collection. So I would like just to ask you, what challenges did you face during this design journey?
One of the challenges was also to look at the design approach from a different perspective. Usually, we are very accustomed to designing in a certain, and as we mentioned, it's also due to the fact that we do offer this as a service. Looking at it from a different perspective is not just looking at it from a local perspective, but also because the idea of FROMM, the essence of FROMM is from Musharraf to Milan. So we have to look at the product and the research part of it from a global perspective. So that was one of the challenges that taught us to see things from a different perspective, is to understand is how can we design something that is not just catered to the usual eye that we are used to doing, but also to see it from an international perspective. Another aspect was designing a product is very different when you design it from paper to reality. So having the design on paper and developing it, rendering it, seeing it, different modeling, and understanding it from a design perspective is very different when it comes to the aspect of making it become a reality. And that was where the significance of prototyping came to reality, is that once we saw the product, it went through different iterations, seeing the dimensions, trying the product. This aspect was also one of the challenging aspects, but it was a very useful aspect for us in the learning process as well.
For me, I would say how it was challenging how to deliver a story through a piece of furniture. Talking about inspiration, we took the inspiration of the latest piece from Musharraf architecture, the recession, the execution of the windows, and the shadow and light, the effect that it creates. So how we transform that into a physical material, looking into the fabrics and textiles and the shape of the furniture itself. So for me, it was challenging how to transform the inspiration into a final product and to deliver a story at the same time.
And you mentioned before that the feedback from the team was very helpful in the design process.
Yes,
right?
it was helpful and challenging, but it helped us to push our boundaries, to look at it from a different perspective than what we used to. So I think the whole experience was very challenging, at the same time very beneficial. And of course, we will apply that on all of our future, like design process and product furniture manufacturing.
And I think that gives back to the essence of FROMM, is not only to promote designers, but that's where you said you have the FROMM lab, because it's not just about the business aspect, but it actually has a purpose of serving and teaching and
giving mentorship and guidance to the designers.
Exactly.
Yes. So, Lucas, how do you think FROMM can continuously improve this co-design process, since we're talking about this?
Today was the last day of a 3-day workshop between 15 designers, mostly women. I am always surprised that the majority is women, and this is a good condition for the future, because the creativity. I produced 3 daughters for this reason, because I'm more creative than in this period, in this era. Not always, but in this era, so it's good. And this is a guarantee for creativity and also an overview, a more complex view. And today, in this 3 day, we have a very good format. I say
we had previously, during these 4 days of the Biennale, the Designers Breakfast Club, where we conducted a workshop with 15 participants, taking them through the design process of FROMM.
And this was very positive because are all professional, young but professional, just in the market. And I was happy because also speaking, they take note.
Yes.
And this is my selective way to have a feedback of my speaking, no? Because if they are interested and take note, okay, my work is good. Otherwise, if they are sleeping, my work is no good. And this kind of interest and passion is something not rhetoric. Many times you think, oh, passion is important, do what passion. Yes, this can be rhetorical. In this case, passion is really an energy. Passing to know, passing to try, passing to speak with each other, to make. After the workshop, many come to me and what do you think about this? So are interested to have a dialogue. And this is also design. I say before, the design can work together with all supplier, material expert, psychology, people, everything, colleague. And this is something very important. And FROMM, with this combination with lab and collection, so also is not only learning, is learning and doing. And this is
sharing.
Exactly. This is very important because also design cannot think only, cannot make a draft only, have to verify if in the reality is good, no good, and how to do better. So this process is really a design process. And this is the way to continue this street because now we have the street, no? 2 years ago, 3 years ago, you have a dream about this, and I start to understand not immediately, but now exists and is a way to do something, and is very good because is able to engage energy, new energy, and to increase the energy, to valorize the energy. This is a very important things and strategic things.
Yes, so to conclude on that, I would like to ask Cállia, you as the visionary behind FROMM, if you can share your insights on how you see FROMM shaping the future of design and cultural innovation.
So it's just simply to continue what we're doing and build it as a cross-cultural platform, not just out of Qatar, but leveraging the existence between Masharib and Milan, giving opportunity to more designers, to more talents, to share cultures, to share their experiences through the FROMM Lab, and to launch more collections, making more research on markets and
more activation on the FROMM Lab also.
And on the FROMM Lab,
yes.
Of course, yeah. So.
And we invite all designers to be part of this.
Of course.
Because I think it's a very insightful experience from what we hear from the designers we worked with so far.
We're very grateful actually for the opportunity to collaborate with FROMM. As I spoke to Aisha, that we're also very grateful that we were able to do it with the Biennale as well, because not only did we learn through this design approach, but also because we got exposed to many aspects of manufacturing as we did manufacture the dining set locally. So I feel that this approach was also, as you mentioned, is the essence of FROMM again.
I think FROMM purpose is very great. Like we have so many talents here in Qatar, Masharib, and so many talents in Milan. And I think what is FROMM doing is bridging the gap and fulfilling the gap between Qatar and Masharib. And having this connection is, I think it will energize the talents to produce more innovative products.
And I'm happy to see more of our FROMM designers sitting with us today.
Yes.
Hammam, Noura, and Mariam. Thank you for.
And we invite you to discover the collections co-designed with these talented designers in the 4th floor, where we have our offices and showroom, and also on the ground floor during the Design Biennale running till the 30th of March. So thank you, speakers, thank you, audience.
Thank you.
I hope this was the insightful session. Thank you all.